Michael, everybody.
I'm scared to use the mic. I've seen what happens when you use the mic. So, yeah, it's not worth it. So, it may occasionally be like this between us tonight, okay? Sometimes we'll have it with, sometimes we'll have it just in case. Gotta prepare. How's everybody doing? I gotta check on y'all because Atlanta, y'all took a tough hit a couple of weeks ago, Super Bowl. Okay. It's my crowd, so we're just gonna address it to this area right here. You all seem to be over it. I'm gonna help you all today. A lot of people took it really hard. Saw people wearing red and black on Valentine's. I said, still taking it hard. You gotta get over it though. You gotta get over it. I'm gonna help you with it. Cause like the whole city of Atlanta went through a depression. I don't know how Woodstock was, but I wanted to give the whole city a Xanax and a hug and just be like, it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. Took it really hard. Like my best friend is an ultimate Falcons fan. I'm talking about ultimate, okay? Like since he was a kid. I'm talking about you go to his house, it's a falcon like perched in a cage waiting on you with a jersey that says rise up on the back. Ultimate. Like he's a teacher. I'm not making this up. He's a teacher, teaches kindergarten. You go to his classroom. Before you get in the classroom, half the door is in red, the other half is in black, right? And he's got like the falcons up and down the door with each student's name. I go to the class, this is about a year ago, true story. He's teaching Georgia history. He asked the kids, what's the state bird? They yell out falcons. Does anybody know what the state bird is? Brown thrasher. Which leads me to my next point, people. Why do we hate the brown thrasher? Oh, we hate the brown thrasher. We do. And maybe after I'm done, you'll understand my point, my perspective. First of all, think about it. We're known as the Peach State. We got to have Peachtree everything. Peachtree City, Peachtree Boulevard, Peachtree Industrial Boulevard, Peachtree Road, Peachtree Avenue, Peachtree Parkway. There's a city named Peachtree City. There's a corner called Peachtree Corners. I have never taken a left on Brown Thrasher Avenue. Never happened. Why do we hate the brown thrasher? And if you think about it, like all the popular sports in Atlanta, talk about the popular ones. Okay, we got football, and we got basketball. They're all named after birds. Not one of them is a thrasher. We got the Atlanta Falcons. We got the Atlanta Hawks. Do you know what sport we gave the brown thrasher? Hockey. Like the least watched sport ever. Look, I don't even watch hockey on accident. Like I'm not flipping through the channel like, oh, it's a hockey game on. That has never happened. Okay? Never. And I know some of you are being optimistic. You might think, well, Cyrus, at least they got a team. No, that's still offensive. Think about it. Let me give you a little perspective. The Falcons have been the Falcons since 1965. It'll be 52 years this year, right? Yeah, you can give them applause. I know some of y'all still feeling their own Super Bowl like, yeah. Atlanta Hawks have been the Atlanta Hawks since 1968. It's a little over 40 years. The brown thrasher has been the state bird since 1935. Do you know when we gave it a team? 1999. That bird had to wait for television to go from black and white to color. He sat through the whole civil rights movement. Had to watch all of that. Skittles came up with 3 new flavors before we gave that bird a team. Like, you know, at some point that bird probably felt like Oprah Winfrey in The Color Purple all my life. But I'm thinking, here's the problem. Here's the issue. People are not threatened by a brown thrasher. If I let loose a pit bull right now, angry pit bull, people would scatter, scream, everything. Right? If I let loose a mountain lion, some people would die, tables would be turned over, and I'm pretty sure that would be my last comedy show. But if I set loose a brown thrasher, some of you would be startled until you saw what it was. Be like, oh, there ain't nothing but a brown thrasher. Let me go back to my seat. Some of you would actually try to pet it. Oh, this is a brown thrasher? This is wonderful. I don't even know if this is how you pet a brown thrasher. I've never seen one. My imagination right there. I think the issue is, we've heard about hawks attacking people or animals, falcons. But you've never flipped through the channel, turned on NBC and seen Brian Williams go, tonight at 11, a brown thrasher viciously attacked a woman and 3 of her children. Witnesses say she barely escaped with her life. We'll have more at 11. You've never seen that. If you have seen that, especially if it's from Brian Williams, you'd have to question if it was really true. Oh, I see some of you have short-term memories. Listen, Brian Williams came up with fake news before it was popular. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, like if you did see that interview though, I would love to see it because they only interview 1 of 2 people when something like that happens. A brown thrasher attacks people. Like it's the lady who's seen everything but never reports anything. They always interview her first. They're like, ma'am, can you tell us what happened? Yeah, I think the whole thing, it was all messed up. I seen that bird come in and I was like, oh Lord, they about to get messed up. They about to get messed up. Did you think about jumping and intervening? Oh no, I figured that was the Lord's will right there. That was they must have did something to that bird for that to happen. That's the Lord's will. Second person they interview is some dude like way out in the country wearing a wife beater and they're like, sir, can you tell us what happened? Oh, yeah, I think that thing came in there like a turkey through the pine cone. I'm sorry. Thing came in there like a turkey through the pine cone. I told Jasper and Gunther, go into the barn, grab the babies. We got to grab the babies. I think that thing came in there. Did you think about maybe jumping and intervening? No, I figured that was the Lord's will right there. They never interviewed those people. But there's something about that, the whole brown thrasher thing. I was trying to comfort my friend, and he was like, I said, how did you feel about the loss? He said it was like the loss of a loved one, which I thought was a stupid analogy, you know, comparing the Falcons losing the Super Bowl to a loss of a loved one. Because here's the thing, like the Falcons can come back next year and do better. You know, like if my Uncle Craig, who I love to death, drops dead today, and somebody like, sorry to hear about your loss, I can't be like, he'll be back next year. He just needs to try harder. The defense wasn't there. But yeah, a little bit about me. I'm from Savannah, Georgia. Grew up near Tybee Island. Yeah, thank you all, 2 of you. 1, even worse, just 1. Yeah, I grew up in Savannah, Georgia. And people will always ask me, what was it like growing up in Savannah? Were you guys always scared of hurricanes? And the hurricanes never scared me. It was the way they would report on the hurricanes. Because they would always talk about the eye of the hurricane. It used to frighten me as a kid because I'm like, you know, why would you give this human characteristic to something that's not human? Eye of the hurricane. So they'd be like, you got to watch out for the eye of the hurricane. Beware the eye of the hurricane. You don't want to wait around for the eye of the hurricane. And I'm praying in my room, 9 and 10 years old, like, Lord, please don't let us get the eye of the hurricane. Lord, please don't let us get the eye of the hurricane. Let us get the pinky toe or the elbow of the hurricane. But please don't let us get the eye of the hurricane. Or if we do get the eye, Lord, if we do get the eye, let it be a lazy eye, Lord. Just let it be a lazy eye. Matter of fact, I don't know how many middle children we have, but I found out my place in the family during the hurricane. Yeah. It was Hurricane Andrew, and the news people said, we want everybody to evacuate. So the whole city of Savannah decided to leave at the same time. Thought that was a bright idea. So we're halfway through. My mom realizes she forgot to get drinks. But we're right across from a Big Lots. And out of 7 kids, my mom yells out, Cyrus, go get drinks. Cyrus, go get drinks. Do you know what that did to me spiritually? My emotions. My self-esteem. For in that moment, my mother was basically saying, if I have to lose 1 child, I'm okay if it's you. I've made peace with God about that. I talked about the lazy eye. I actually have a lazy eye. Some of you in the front row have noticed because you don't know who I'm looking at. I want you to know the feeling is mutual. I don't know who I'm looking at either, so we'll get through it together. Stop having a lazy eye, you know? Like I try to motivate my eye to work, you know? I try to read it poems by Maya Angelou, Still I Rise. Doesn't work. I try to do different things. Like some of you, just to give you perspective, you were born, you opened both your eyes, and both eyes said, time to rise and shine, time to go to work. It's a wonderful thing. They've been working ever since. What happened with me was I opened both my eyes. One eye said, time to rise and shine, time to go to work. The other eye said, I quit. But in his 2 weeks' notice, we have not heard from him since. Stop having a lazy eye. Like, you know, you go for a job interview, what do they tell you? The 2 most important things, experience and eye contact. Right. So, you know, it's tough because I feel like sometimes when I go for a job interview, the hiring manager is talking to his assistant like, you know, if he can't get that to work, What more can we expect of him? Yeah, tell me about it. You know, it's hard. It's hard. If I want to have kids, I can't have a lot of kids with a lazy eye. You can't. Think about it. If I have 5 kids that run around in some doctor's office, and I get mad at one of them, I'm like, hey, no TV for you tonight. I go to make sure that child's not watching TV. Turns out none of them are, because nobody knew who I was talking to. Like, Dad, we just wanted to play it safe. Stop. I'm a bit of an introvert as well. You know, people will ask me all the time, like, Cyrus, how do you get on stage, do the whole comedy thing, and then you get off stage and you just shut down? And I think a lot of it has to do with social anxiety, you know? I don't like things beyond my control, you know? Like, if you try to surprise me, like, friends would tell me, like, I'm gonna come to your house, I'm gonna jump out and be like, surprise. And I'm like, you might get punched in the face, though. Yeah. Be careful. You know, not on purpose, you know, because I would be like, how did you find out where I live? Mom. But, you know, people will try to invite me to concerts. They're like, so-and-so's coming, and I'm bringing everybody. And I don't really get caught up in who's performing or how many people you're bringing. My first question is, what's the parking situation looking like so I can get in and get out and get home to watch Stephen A. Smith on First Take? That's my show. But yeah, now don't get me wrong. I'm a good friend. If you're going through something, need a shoulder to lean on, get a flat tire, I'm there. Need somebody to help jumpstart your car, I'm a good friend. But if your child is growing his or her 3rd tooth and the Spirit leads you to call somebody, don't call me. No, because I'm not going to say what you want me to say. I'm not going to say what you want me to say. If you call me talking about, hey, Cyrus, little Marcus just grew his 3rd tooth. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? I'm going to focus on that word amazing, and I'm liable to go off and just be like, no, it's not amazing. What's amazing is that the sun rises and the sun sets like clockwork every day, and we don't even think about it. That's amazing. What's amazing is that the earth spins and tilts on its own axis every day, and we don't even think about it. It's happening right now. That's amazing. What's amazing is the fact that NBA legend Magic Johnson contracted the HIV virus over 25 years ago, and yet the man is so healthy today that if you line the two of us up side by side and ask yourself which one of us looked like they had the HIV virus, the fact that you would choose me first, that's amazing. You calling me about your child's 3rd tooth is annoying. There's a difference. There's a difference. Then I'm liable to ask you to start paying the phone bill if you're going to call me every time your child grows a tooth. Yeah. So I got to pray for me, you know. Got to pray for me. Speaking of which, I did go to church a lot as a kid, you know, because I consider myself fairly spiritual. But I would talk to my white friends about the differences, because they would always ask, you know, what's the difference between a white church and black church? And one of the things is the music. I told him, I said, you know, it's very up-tempo, upbeat at a white church. He said, what do you mean, Cyrus? I said, well, every time y'all sing America the Beautiful, I keep waiting for Michael Bublé or Frank Sinatra to pop out. He said, how do you mean? I said, because y'all sing it like this. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesty, above the fruited plains. America, bring it home, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crowned thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. No, I didn't say that for applause. It's actually annoying because I told him, I said, our version at the black church is about 4 hours long. Yeah, we enunciate every word, every syllable. I told him we learned half the alphabet from the way my pastor sings America the Beautiful. He's like, how is that even possible, Cyrus? I said, because he sings it like this. O, A, B, C, D, E, F, N, G. G stands for Jesus. Yes, my pastor did say G stands for Jesus. H-I-J-K, L-M-N, oh, beautiful. Yes, Lord. And I don't know why, but at a black church, for some reason, we will take a survey in the middle of the song for no reason. Oh, beautiful, for spacious skies. How many of you know the skies are spacious? Surveys now? So yeah, did a lot of, went to church, and another thing about me is I'm horrible with directions. Yeah, like I found out about this new GPS app called Waze. I don't know if any of you use it. Yeah, I'm thinking about using it. You know, I'm not where y'all are, because I did a little research and found out that Arnold Schwarzenegger is one of the most top downloaded voices